Well, hello, I'm Timmermans, one of the many hosts with the Florida Aviation Network, and we're broadcasting to you live and in the clear from the 45th Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo. I'm delighted that you've joined us today, and for those of you who have already been to Sun and Fun this year, or are coming later this year, you're going to find most of your friends are already here and have been enjoying the show. We've had an incredible number of very interesting guests that have joined us for interviews on the Florida Aviation Network this week. More to come, of course. One of those very interesting people that is with me today is Ms. Angela West, the Director of Operations for Stallion 51, an organization that is headquartered at Kissimmee, Florida Airport. Angela, thank you for joining us. It's good to have you with us today. If you would please tell us a bit about Stallion 51 and what we can expect if we were to go there.
Sure. Well, we operate the P-51 Mustang, and the T6 Texan, and an L-39 turbojet. We've been in business for over 32 years, and we share the history and the preservation of the legendary Mustang, and share the cockpit with people from all over the world.
Very good. So a P-51, for those who are not familiar with the warbirds, this was an aircraft that was developed during World War II,
It was developed in World War II, and it probably is arguably the most popular, the most famous World War II fighter, and arguably, I would say, the most famous fighter of all times, including today's, fighters. But yeah, there were almost 16,000 of those aircraft built during the wartime, and only approximately about, I'd say, 175 left throughout the whole world today.
Wow, from 16,000 down to 175. It's important that we preserve those that are left for the heritage and the like. And as I recall, the P-51, when it was developed and deployed during the Second World War, midway through the war, as I recall, it was in part responsible for turning the tide.
It definitely turned the tide in World War II. It was designed and built in right at 120 days, believe it or not. If you can, by glide school or glide rules and all of, the technology back then, of course, was not what it is today. But it was designed 120 days, and it was designed as the bomber escort back then. So it was a fighter escort airplane, and it definitely turned the tide in World War II for all of us. Yeah.
I guess, as I recall my history, we were losing more and more bombers to anti-aircraft fire and to other fighter aircraft, enemy fighter aircraft, and so the P-51 was able to successfully escort our bombers so that they could do their mission and not get all shot up and the like. So that's great. That's great. Well, if you're a pilot and if you've been around aviation for very long at all, you've probably heard about warbirds, and if you've heard about warbirds, and if you ever wanted to fly one, I'm sure that your desire has been for the P-51. So there's a number of places around the country where you can have the opportunity to fly a P-51. One of those is at Kissimmee with Stallion 51, as Angela was telling us. So is there a website that we can go to learn about this and the cost?
Sure.
And the
a couple of things. Our website is www.stallion51.com. So easy. It's the name of our company. And then also, if you're here located or during Sun and Fun, we're located on the Warbird ramp here, and we have a display out there. Actually, both of our Mustangs are there this year. Crazy Horse, the original Crazy Horse, and Crazy Horse 2. And so please stop by and say hello to us and get information, or just stop by and say hello to us. We'd love to see you guys out there. Everybody around those aircraft is willing to talk aviation to you, I'm sure. Yes, they are. So in addition to offering the rides and the training for Stallion 51, for P-51s or for the other warbirds that you have there, Stallion 51 is also involved in philanthropic activities to include awarding a scholarship to a young person from the Central Florida Aviation Academy, as Aerospace Academy. Yes. Is that true? And did you just recently have an award? It is true. We've actually been involved in this program for, this is our 4th year. and we started out choosing a graduating senior from the whole class, and we would get approximately 6 to 10 names from Sun and Fun and the Aerospace Center for Excellence program, and we really didn't have a chance to get to know the kids or be able to really get to know the kids over time. And so we would have a very short amount of time to interview them, talk to them, and make the decision. So this year, prior to Sun and Fun, we got together with Sun and Fun and ACE, and we said, how can we make this better? So we started looking at the Stratus program that is in place now. And that starts with the kids whenever they're juniors. They are chosen, they have to go through an essay contest, and they are chosen, and it can be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 kids, depending upon how many entries that they get from the junior class. And then those are chosen, and their first year at Sun and Fun is getting to know Sun and Fun, getting to know the layout, now getting to meet us and spend some time with us. Like every day we have 2 of the kids that are in Stratus 6 this year that are out on the Warbird ramp at from 11 to 12 each day, talking about the history of the Mustang. That was their assignment this year, was getting to know fun facts and figures about the Mustang. And so each day 2 of those 12 are out there. But this year we ended up choosing from the Stratus 5, and there were 10 participants, and they, here during Sun and Fun, they're all part of leadership roles. Like one of those young kids is Light Celine House's assistant. One of the other kids potentially is over all of the ROTC kids that are here. So they are placed very strategically throughout Sun and Fun, and you'll see them. They have their Stratus t-shirts on and their shirts or polos. So if you stop and see one of those kids, please stop them, or if you see one of those kids, please stop and say hello to them and shake their hand. And but so we had ourselves a contest that they had to go through to get to a finalist or final 5. And so they had to do an essay and then an oral interview with us, and the final interview was Monday, and then we got to choose the winner. And last night at the birthday bash, which took place right here at the Bueller building, we announced the winner. And the young man, all of them were very, very deserving of the award, but we had to choose one. And the gentleman that won it last night was Andrew Campbell. And so he will be able to go and on Sunday fly out of Sun and Fun to, we call it help launch his career. And it's a small way for us to pay it forward for the kids, because we love the school here and what it's doing.
What a wonderful example of philanthropic work on the part of Stallion 51. And Andrew Campbell, right? I will recognize Andrew Campbell out on the ground today. He will have the permanent smile tattooed on his face.
And even more so on Monday morning after he flies back. And the other thing is he gets to fly back with Lee.
Oh.
So, Lee is the highest time P-51 Mustang pilot, but he also...
And Lee is?
Lee Lauterbach is the owner and chief pilot for Stallion 51, but he also reached his 10,000 hour mark in the P-51 Mustang here at Sun and Fun. Yes, they're showing some video there. Here at Sun and Fun on Tuesday. Wow. So we're celebrating, and he was also yesterday inducted into the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame here as well.
Oh,
so that was truly a high honor for him.
Indeed. So it's been a great week then for Stallion 51.
It's been a wonderful week for Stallion 51, and we just believe in the school, the academy, everything that's happening, and this is our small way of paying it forward. And as we stated to Andrew, he gets to become flight lead with Lee, flying out of Sun and Fun this year. So
the 2 of them are going to fly back together, and he'll be in the lead aircraft. How thrilling for him. So I'm often amazed at the number of opportunities for young people in aviation. We've talked for a number of times on this show and others about the so-called pilot shortage throughout the U.S., and that certainly has become more prevalent or more well known to us. But the opportunities for young people to get involved in aviation through an aviation aerospace academy like we have here, or through Young Eagles, or through scholarships available through AOPA and other places, and now the opportunity to fly with Stallion 51 is just tremendous. The number of opportunities, much more so than what I think we've had in the past.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think the level of interest from organizations such as this, I mean, for the ACE program itself, Aerospace Center for Excellence, and having the academy that they do. If I'm not mistaken, they have over 350 kids enrolled right now. And of course, the James C. Ray Scholarship that they do, they're doing over 4 a month in reference to that. And that's how people like us can help, and people like you out there on the grounds, you know.
Indeed.
I mean, donating or, seeing what you could do to mentor a young man or a woman coming up in the ranks, whether they're 5 years old or 15 years old. Let's do what we can.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for what you're doing,
Thank you.
Lisa, at Stallion 51. This has been great. If you're out and about at Sun and Fun and out on the Warbird ramp, stop in at the Stallion 51 location. You'll get to look at, there are 2 examples of P51s, Mustangs, and see some people there, and perhaps meet some of the young people involved. That'd be great. That'd be great. Well, our time is up already for speaking with Angela. Thank you very much for being with us, Angela West, with Stallion 51. This has been great. I'm Ron Timmermans, one of your hosts for the Florida Aviation Network. We're broadcasting to you live and in the clear from the 45th Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo in Lakeland, Florida. I hope you'll join us for another of our interviews coming up real soon.